Welcome to my basement, everybody. Scott Jones is here. I am here.
I just woke
PlayStation
up.
4 is here.
Xbox One is here.
Xbox One is here.
I'm Jeff Bakalar. Remember last week?
Yeah,
How fun was that?
We were in New York.
New York City. Our faces were freezing.
I'm
You
ready.
looked cold in the special on Friday.
I was cold, man.
You were freezing.
Yeah, it was
You were
super
shivering
cold
like
up on the...
like a little flower in a windstorm.
I'm just little.
But
I'm ready for these launches to be over. I'm ready to just
Nobody
sit down
wants to
with
hear that because everybody's running to the game store. Everybody's excited.
I'm excited, but I am also ready to just be home and just enjoy these games. And we've been on the road, back and forth for different events and different kinds of things. It's exciting. It's fun. I'm not knocking it, but I am ready to
I got to
just
tell you something.
hug my consoles and be home. And my family.
And I think that's really only when we'll find out what they're worth, is when we have them home and we can steep ourselves in them. We can spend a little time with them because it has been slam bang.
Yep.
It has been lots of airports, lots of travel, and feeling this longing to just get home and to just like have your moment with the. I feel like I haven't had my moment with either one of these.
I know,
consoles
and that's
yet.
the thing about games. I mean, we and you know what, with the television programming and everything, we've been working our butts off to talk about them in a broader, sort of cultural context, and that they aren't just these things that you lock away in your room and your bedrooms and your basements, and you kind of escape from reality. But the truth is, they still are kind of like that. You still need to kind of disconnect from everybody else and just go down and play.
You need a couple hours.
Yeah.
I want a few hours alone
Yep.
with the PlayStation 4. I want to do some dirty things to it. I want to touch different parts of it, maybe ports that people don't normally touch. No, I'm going to tell you a story, and you may or may not find this sexy.
Okay.
I really hope you don't.
All right.
This morning I'm getting ready for work.
Yeah.
And we're hustling.
Yeah.
This is a busy week. You're going back to the airport again.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to play Super Mario 3D Worlds.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get a few levels in before and so I shower. The cats are there with me because they like to lick
in
my
the shower?
feet. No, they don't go into the shower.
All right.
I'm done with the shower.
That is not sexy.
But they like the water on my feet for some reason. They like to lick it. So I come out of the shower and I try to dry off as best I can.
You are such a lonely man.
No, I'm very happy. I'm
Listen,
okay. You know what?
Please dial in.
Different strokes.
If you're listening to this.
Different strokes.
And you're a woman that likes a guy with cats.
I'm playing Super Mario 3D World. I'm trying to get a couple levels in before I come to work. This has been my life now for 3 weeks. I'm just trying to get a few.
I'm just trying to get a couple levels in.
That's it.
Just a couple
Thank
drips.
God I don't have a family.
Yeah.
Thank God I can barely.
Well, I had time off after the New York trip for the PlayStation 4 launch.
You had like a minute off.
A few days off, but goddamn, I was just reading about all of the people's experiences with the PlayStation 4.
This is why are you looking at this stuff when you're on vacation?
I can't help
Turn it off.
This was the first one, this first machine in my whole history that I wasn't there for the launch and wasn't sitting around in my underwear playing these games forever.
Now you're painting the picture.
I had a great time with my family. It was awesome, but it was a complete shift in my life because of this. Like I've never been away from my house as one of these machines drops.
Yeah, I didn't know why you wanted to take some time away. We're in New York,
I
and
needed
so you got
it.
to take advantage of
Been
it. But it
busy as
was
hell.
a curious choice,
Yeah.
personal choice. I was surprised that you wanted to do that because if anyone wants to go home and do dirty things to these machines, it's you.
Listen, I wanted to be with my family too, and that was awesome. And Ruby had a great time. But
you know what the challenge is? Getting the cats dressed and fed and out the door for school every morning.
I know, right?
It's just me. I'm a single
parent. They grow up so quick.
I know. I take photographs of them waiting for the bus.
Listen, the other thing that's tough about these machines, and I had the Xbox One briefing a couple days ago, and
there was some Kool-Aid for you to drink.
Well, yeah, but
Drink it if you want to.
They're so complicated. I mean, we sat through the PlayStation 4 briefing in New York as well, and we've been to the press conferences, and we've had the videos, and we've had the the little announcements and all that stuff. But then when you sit down and you actually see this thing in its almost complete form, because man, are these things coming in at launch hot. You just feel like all the pieces aren't on the wings.
Like a piece of duct tape on the
like,
side.
We're landing now, no matter what. Yeah. It kind of feels like that.
Well, the Foxconn factory in China has been going crazy getting these things out the door.
But they're so complicated. The Xbox One in particular, my mind was blown by what you can do in the front end. Like all of these different things. You can say Xbox Snap, and then you've got two different windows playing. You can play your TV in one chunk, and you can play your game in another chunk. You can record a little bit of gameplay.
Why do you need this?
But it can do all of this stuff, and it's fascinating that is the momentum of the games industry. I mean, the PlayStation 4 has a lot of that functionality as well. They're not exactly the same, but they're also...
Sorry, I'm a little gassy today.
But they're both so much more than just game machines, but so much of it is tailored around the core game experience,
this is the thing.
Which I dig.
This is what I'm worried about. I feel like the more time that I spend with them, the less of a magical Swiss Army knife they're both going to see, because I have spent more time with the PS4 at this point.
Yeah, it came out a little early.
And I've had a couple days, not as much time as I would like. But it does, and again, I know that you're not going to like this, and a lot of people listening aren't going to like this, but it does feel like it rights all of the wrongs for the PS3 to the point where I kind of just feel like this is what the PS3 should have been.
Right.
This is a PS3 do-over. It fixes everything, and that machine was broken, especially at launch. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
And it's got a faster, stronger, more powerful CPU, but that's basically it. Like I'm going around the dashboard, and I'm looking at this thing, and I know it's the launch. It's only been a couple of days. But I'm like, I feel like there should be more for me to do.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be more here. And there's just, even in the store, there's nothing to really even to buy. Last night I signed up for my PlayStation Plus. I spent the money on that. And I'm going through, and there's a couple of free games. Resogun is free. Sound Shapes is free. A game called Contrast is free. And then you kind of run out. And then that's the end of it. And for some reason, it seemed like there was millions of things when I was at the launch. But then when you get home, it's like those are launch window experiences.
Right.
They will be coming at some point, like Jonathan Blow's The Witness, and things that are interesting and that I'm curious about. But there's not enough for me to do with that machine. Now, the Xbox One, I can't speak to yet. I haven't spent enough time with it. But that's how I feel post PS4.
Yeah, I mean, the tough thing is that the current gen, I guess they're last gen now, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 had a pretty terrific send-off, like
drinking coffee in the basement today.
That's nice. There's actually some great games to kind of wind those systems down, and they've been ported to these new machines, and we're going to be doing some comparisons on the show. But from 10 feet away or 12 feet away, it's pretty negligible.
Yeah.
What you're really getting when you make the jump to next gen. Now, that doesn't mean that they're bad games. Assassin's Creed's an awesome game. NBA 2K14 is an awesome game, and there was some new stuff applied to the mechanics and the physicality of the basketball game. But yes, I feel that like every console launch, it's underwhelming. But because the hype was so big and the wait was so long for both of these machines, there should have been a little bit more out the door for both of these things.
I'm going to play devil's advocate with myself here and refute what I just said. And I'm thinking back to the early 90s when I was playing Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, which was a pack-in cartridge, one of the greatest pack-in games of all time.
Sure.
And that was all there really was at launch.
Man.
That was it. And that was a video game launch back then. And here we are, 20 years later. And we expect a lot more from our machine right out of the gate. We expect a lot more at launch. We expect a lot more variety. We put a ton. I mean, obviously the industry has grown and flourished and changed, and a lot of people have become very rich. There's a lot of visionaries out there.
Yeah.
And so I guess as gamers, being older, we just expect more than just that one awesome launch title that shows us what this new machine can do.
What we do get now, and we don't really get the backwards compatibility in these two new machines, but what we do get are free games like Killer Instinct. You can sort of jump into and start playing that on the Xbox One. Sort of.
Not really.
But if you sign up for PlayStation Plus, you get some pretty decent free games, even if they are ports from PS3 titles. And that stuff wasn't really available in previous console generations.
Of course, yeah.
Now, you want more than what's on offer right now, but it's still pretty remarkable that you can... I
want something for me. That's what I want.
Yeah, you want to find that surprise, like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting to love this as much.
Yeah, and there's no surprise.
And Resogun, I think...
Nope.
It's pretty great, but it's not even as great as Geometry Wars was as a surprise on Xbox Live Arcade. And that's what that.
And those guys are masters. Housemarque is incredible.
They're incredible, right?
Yeah, they're great dudes. But there is a bit of deja vu that's strong with that game.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
but it's another one of those experiences too that I love it for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then I got to move on.
Yeah,
I'm just looking for that vortex to get sucked into that virtual world, not unlike Super Mario World did, where I just played it obsessively for weeks.
Well, this will be the weekend where we really get to dive into Dead Rising 3, and I have a feeling that is going to be the best out of the crop of...
all of them across the board, PS4 and Xbox.
Of the launch titles for the next generation.
It looks very interesting. The reviews are in. I have yet to play it. It's in the office here somewhere. Did you play a little bit last night?
No, it was still downloading. It was taking forever.
That's a big game.
I mean, that's the other thing, right? These digital releases are massive, man. And I plugged in what I'm recognizing is that I can't rely on the Wi-Fi in my house. I'm going to have to string lots of cables around and go hardwire into the back of the machine.
Why? You need it faster?
Yeah. I mean,
not fast enough.
I've been hardwired into the PC and downloading Steam games lickety-split, so it's been great that way. So I have to kind of apply the same
I don't
principle.
like that expression.
I know, it's a terrible
Don't use it anymore. It's just upsetting.
We said howdy do today on the show. We brought that back.
What is today's show that we shot?
That was
Wednesdays, Tuesdays.
We're revealing that we're recording this early.
People know we have to do it a couple days early.
But I do want to get some kind of a router thing again, which is crazy because you're going to want some fast bandwidth to get access to all of this content.
Well, I did this thing where my next door neighbor now he's loud, and my bedroom, where my bed used to be, was right next to his room, and he's up all night. I don't know what he's doing in there. He's smoking cigarettes, and it kind of comes through the wall. Yeah,
come on,
it's just city living,
2013.
Man. I know.
Come on.
I think he's European.
The cigarettes are bad for you.
Yes. If you're smoking a cigarette, please put it out. We're going to pause and wait for you to put it out. And we're back.
Okay.
So anyway, I have 2 bedrooms because I'm a TV star. You wouldn't believe the money I make.
Yeah.
Like I have Rolls Royces.
It's amazing, right?
I got my Rolex on.
Yeah.
I'm at the club with Kanye and Aziz Ansari every night.
And Fiddy.
Yeah. So I decided to switch my bedroom and my game room.
Oh, nice.
So I moved into my game room.
Yeah.
And I moved the game room into the bedroom. I'm like, well, now he's going to get a toast of
taste.
Rezo gun. Yeah. Try this. So my whole apartment is just a mess.
Yeah.
From one end to the other. The bed is here, and the console is my TV is set up in it. But I'm starting to get. But what I've done is I've moved further away from the Wi-Fi. Does that affect it? Is it going to slow it down?
Wi-Fi. I mean, I'm finding that the Wi-Fi is just not. I mean, when you have 20 gig or 25 gig games, it's going to take forever to download that stuff. So I'm hardwiring. That's the way I'm going to go for it.
Or I'm going to go old school, man. I'm just going to get the hard copies. Just get the discs.
I think so.
Spin the discs.
Honestly, there is a case to be said for retail when you're talking about waiting.
It's too much.
For as long
the
as it would to
bandwidth isn't there yet.
Yeah, to go to the store and pick it up and get yourself a coffee and come back and plug your disc in. Yeah, I feel
I got to ask you a personal question.
Yo.
PS4. Are you positioning it upright or flat?
It's flat now because I don't have the stand. But
I don't care. I went upright, even without the stand.
Really?
I'm out there.
Man.
I'm flying.
Yeah, what if it wobbles?
I think I'm okay.
What if it wobbles?
What if the cats bump against it when they get home from school?
Crash.
Well, so far I've been safe. And it's next to my TV, and it's kind of wedged next to the Wii U. So I think it's okay.
We'll take a look around in here, man. The cables are everywhere. They're all over the damn place because I haven't had time to clean up at all to put this stuff away. And
where's the maid? Your mom? Why isn't she cleaning up?
No, I tell her she cannot touch the game systems. She cannot come near the game console. Mom, stay away!
Let me ask you a question. When Ruby comes down to the basement, what is she allowed to touch?
No, nothing.
Never?
No.
She's not allowed.
I mean, there's keyboards. There's keyboards. There's wires. It's
going to be like Alice in Wonderland when she gets to go down there.
It's a fire hazard where I game. It's honestly, it's like I wrap myself up in cable and just sit in front of two monitors. I must be getting radiated so much when I sit here.
I worry about that sometimes
too.
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
And then I've got my phone, and I've got sometimes the 3DS or the Vita beside me too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, it's like if we're not in the Matrix already in our game playing lives, it's like we're working our way towards that. I totally feel like I get lost in digital space when I come down here.
So it is a big time, a big busy time, a time to spend money. I actually went and picked up my PS4 at the EB Games. Is it EB or GameStop at Metrotown?
Awesome.
And I'm going to go back and I'll get my Xbox One. I asked them if I could take the Xbox One when I was there. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go back and get that. But there are other things going on in the world. Nintendo's making a little bit of noise. They got a new Zelda game and a new Mario game, and we've somehow ignored both so far.
Well, we've been playing the Zelda game, and the review is coming. And Nintendo actually sent me that gold 3DS bundle, and it
must be nice to be you.
It is. I begged them for it, and they said okay. They relented, and holy crap! Is it beautiful?
It's a 3DS.
I know
with some gold
it's gold, but it has the
inside.
Triforce logo on the front and on the back.
You are
it's
strange,
kind of a
man.
brown.
I know you think
inlay.
I'm strange. This is one of your strange moments.
Come on, this is such a gorgeous. You know what it is? It's like a trophy. It's like an ode to the franchise. It's this beautiful gold sort of. I don't know, just like a loving sort of object.
Guess what I'm going to do for you?
Desire.
Guess what I'm going to do for you?
this franchise, which I love.
I'm going to hum the Lon Lon Ranch song.
Okay, go for it. That's good. Oh, so soothing.
Is that the Lon Lon Ranch?
I don't know, but I like it.
What's Epona's theme?
That's Epona's theme right there.
No, I don't think so, because that's the one. Epona's theme is the one you play on your ocarina.
Oh, okay.
We are two grown men.
I can't remember.
But yeah, we've been playing A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS, and I have to say this, and I can't believe it that I'm even going to say this. The 3D is actually kind of cool.
It is
in the game. Like
yeah.
I don't leave it on.
Yeah.
But every now and then during a cutscene, I'll turn it on and I'll be like, it's pretty impressive.
I'll tell you this. It's one of my favorite games of the year. It's absolutely remarkable.
Every game is one of your favorite games of the year.
This one.
This one. This one is okay.
Ridiculous. I mean, I love the audio effect of when you do that special move in the game, and the audio completely changes and the music completely changes.
Oh, you're not going to say what it is?
It's so wonderful.
People know what it is.
I will wait for the review.
All right.
I love it, though. I've been having a blast with that. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a bounty.
Yeah, last night I just got to Low Rule.
Yeah.
And I got there for the first time and was looking around, and it got kind of tough there. But again, the thing that I'm enjoying the most about it is buried in my memories is the early 90s when it was really the first time I'd ever played a Zelda game with A Link to the Past.
Yep.
And I just was obsessed with it for months. And I was living on my own in Chicago for the first time in my life, working as a waiter, trying to get into graduate school, but mostly just obsessing over A Link to the Past. And I had a couple games going at the same time, and if I got stuck in one, I would just switch to the other one. And that's all I played. And I fell in love hard with Link and with Princess Peach. Wait, she's not in that game. I fell in love hard with all the characters in that game, the beautiful world, and that was, and the thing that I always remember most is you get the elements at the beginning of the game, and you're like, oh, it's done.
Yeah. Nope.
It is only just getting warmed up. That's just the beginning. The
princess is in another castle.
Yeah, what an incredible prelude to this incredible journey that just went on forever and ever. And I really, should have gotten a lot more leg in Chicago than I did. I eventually found a girlfriend. It took a long time. But
I think if you have a significant other and they can't appreciate the beauty and the wonder and the majesty
but
of
I'm saying
Zelda,
I was home in Hyrule when I should have been out in the clubs with Kanye.
No, come on. I should have been out. You should have brought a Zelda appreciator home with you.
Oh, man, I was so shy back then. I'm still shy.
Yeah.
Even though I'm in my 60s.
Well, that's why we love to escape into video games.
So New York City was great. You guys had a lot of fun there. I had a lot of fun there. We saw lots of old friends, old and new.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to see everybody. And now we're back, and we saw the Hunger Games.
We did see the Hunger Games, and I had a good time, and you had a miserable time. And you checked your watch about 65 times during the film. And I
feel bad for Jennifer Lawrence.
I think she's going to be one of the biggest stars in the world.
She already is one of the biggest. She won an Oscar, and she's been in a ton of movies.
She's huge, but I think she's going to have a long career.
But when she signed the deal for these shitty movies, was before she became an international superstar.
They're not shitty. They're pretty involved. They're pretty cool, and especially if you've read the books and you've got a youthful connection to the storytelling that's in this stuff. I think it's pretty good. It's totally old tropes of rebels rising up against a bunch of fascists that are trying to take control of everybody. It's very dystopian, but I like the youthful empowerment. I like the female empowerment.
I tell you what, this whole movie had no pulse until about the midway point when you start meeting some of the, I don't know what, the tributes or whatever, the people who won previous Hunger Games.
When Jeffrey Wright's in there, and
Jeffrey Wright and Amanda Plummer, and they're a little bit crazy, and you start, you start to try to understand what gave these people the edge to do what they needed to do. And so then it becomes interesting, and then it becomes kind of this sort of, rogues gallery of, Philip Seymour Hoffman comes out, who looks completely out of place in the film. It's not like they didn't, at least Donald Sutherland looks like he tried to put on a different outfit or something.
He's so sinister. He's
great.
But
Philip Seymour Hoffman just looks like, you said it, you leaned over, you're like, he looks like he just wandered in from another movie, and he does.
I know. He starts to inhabit the role in the world a little bit better. Even Lenny Kravitz.
Terrible.
But it's interesting that those are the directions that the storyteller, the author of the book franchise went. The fashion designer of the woman in the fire dress is such a prominent and important role in this franchise, and Lenny Kravitz gets to be the actor that portrays this thing. And I've never seen that before. I've never seen style sort of presented as such a uniformly strong, story point in a science fiction film like this before. And I like that. And I like the kind of crazy proto, sort of French Revolution era kind of costuming that everybody's got. Toby Jones is freaky and cool in there, and
he's only in it for like a half beat.
But I like that interplay with Stanley Tucci. I like all of that stuff. There's lots of lots of little flourishes.
You at all.
There's lots of little flourishes in the background that are adding all kinds of great little layers.
Mystery wrapped in an enigma.
You know what? I mean, I think it's of the time. I think it's pretty cool for this era.
If you are a young adult, if you're a woman and you find this story empowering, you could do better. You should expect more.
Well, I'll tell you this:
from your filmmaking.
Twilight sucked.
You should expect more.
Twilight
from your books.
They were just terrible films. And Harry Potter, I'd say 80% of those movies bored the hell out of me.
I'm with you on both fronts there. 100%.
For some reason, and I don't know what it is, maybe it's this apocalyptic dystopian, borrows heavily from the video game sphere kind of storytelling. I can groove on it. And I also like Katniss. I think it's a great character. All right. And Peeta, someone needs to put him out of his misery because he's just the one for the ride. Gale's cool. I like Gale.
He's got a woman's name.
It's all right.
Do you know any men with the name Gale?
He's broken. He's heartbroken. His love became a tribute. I think all that stuff is nice.
All of this makes me throw up on my shoes.
I know. It's it wasn't written for us, but I can still appreciate it. I can appreciate it, and I still get caught up in the story.
Oh my God. Like and that's the other problem. It's the same story as the first film.
But they set themselves up. It's like a new season of Survivor. It's that's what the whole trope of this franchise is this idea of this deadly game show. It has to be centered around that. So if you're a fan of it, you have to see it again. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with the next film, or the next. It's going
to be a super Hunger Games.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Hunger Game maybe it's training for military radicalism. I don't know, but I'm interested.
I could not care less. So Vic says see it. I say do not see it.
Especially if you like the first movie. I think this was a better version of a lot of the same stuff that was in the first movie. But I like the first one, and this was better.
So I love working with you.
Yes,
it's always interesting.
I love that you look at me with
I'm just perplexed.
Anthropologist.
Yeah, I want to study you. Yeah, take you to the university. This man has a family, a business, and
listen. I can appreciate what was put on screen and the efforts that everybody took to try to build this story. And we need new stories like this presented.
We need better stories. Again,
yes, we do.
We need to raise our standards.
I won't argue with that.
We need better writing. We need better fiction.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Narratives.
And I certainly connect this to Harry Potter and Twilight, and what was that other one that we saw not too long ago? I can't even remember
the Mortal Bones of the City.
I mean, I think of all of those films, and I felt completely like disinterested, out of touch.
Because you know there's going to be some killing in this one eventually.
Well, I mean, The Lord of the Flies is a resonant piece of fiction, and it's something to be re-examined, especially, I mean, I can see the Hunger Games becoming such a catalyst for network television executives to kind of conceive of similar things. It'll start with paintball, and it will eventually end up with people having to dodge razor-sharp wires, and, we'll see blood. And then, I mean, you can go as dark. You can follow this line, So to see this stuff
there's a lot going on in your mind when you're watching this movie.
Absolutely.
That's because nothing interesting is happening in the movie.
No.
The interesting things are happening in your head.
I think the interesting thing was on the written page, and this is an approximation of it.
These books are terrible. Like, you could do so much better if you're a young adult and you're looking for something to read.
What would you suggest?
Like, come
Catcher
on.
in the Rye? I mean, where do you put people? Where do you send them?
Anything. Read anything other than these trashy books, man.
You need some escapism. You need some fiction. You need some...
Not that badly.
And some female-driven ones as well.
We have too much escapism, and that's part of the problem.
It is.
I
agree.
We're too absent. We always want a new world to escape into. What about this one? Let's put both feet down.
That's a profound thought.
I know.
Absolutely.
That's my profound thought of the day. This is what the cup of coffee did to me.
I mean, it's true. I mean, we have, and I think you only can kind of see that if you've got perspective and you can remember a time when there wasn't this much choice. But it's true, and I think it's affecting everybody that wants a career in the discussion around escapism or the creation of new content in that space.
Like, we see too many movies. That's part of the problem.
All of it.
When
these industries are too enormous.
Like, I sit down on Monday, and we were going back and forth on whether or not we were going to be able to make the screening of this.
Yeah.
But I just kind of... Like, I just sit there and I'm just like, what am I doing with my life?
Right.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm watching this shit. Like, and it is like, it's shit. I should be spending my days in better ways. There's 2 hours that movie took from me.
But the truth
that I'm angry about.
The truth is that people don't have what we get to do as a job.
I understand
as their job.
I do.
So
but I've got my own personal journey.
40 to 50 hours a week, or 60 or more, of commitment to an occupation that takes them away from the joy.
But most people are on Facebook all day. They're escaping into that. As soon as they get home, into their seasons of TV. Let's just be together, man. I'm getting very hippie, 1960s.
Yeah.
Let's go pick flowers together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's be less fascinated with all of the shininess, and let's spend a little more time together.
And I'm just overwhelmed with the consoles and the new shit to unpack every day.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot,
We're spoiled. As a society.
We are.
We are spoiled.
And that's what worries me. The fall of Rome. This is what happened to the Roman Empire.
We have tablet trees.
We had too much.
Like, pretty soon we'll have so many tablets and cell phones, there'll be decorations on our Christmas
seriously,
trees.
It becomes disgusting at a certain point. It's gross.
I know.
I'm a little grossed out by myself and the amount of stuff that we consume sometimes.
Right, yeah.
And it's been a lot of years. We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where to go from.
I mean, and you've said this before, is you go for the good stuff and you tell people about the best stuff that's out there.
I feel like I used to be more into that fight than I am these days. I don't want to, I'm so, because we consume probably, in my opinion, 9 bad things for 1 decent thing.
Right.
And that 9 bad things, I think after, it's just over 10 years I've been doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it takes a toll.
Yeah.
You've been doing it even longer.
Yep.
You're an amazing man. Like, I don't know how you do it.
Well, I am entertained by a lot of different things, for sure.
We didn't even talk about our sponsor today on the show, at the top of the show, did we?
Well, the PlayStation 4 is it obviously had a huge launch, sold 1 million units, and it's out.
Now
it's
that
available.
It's out, are they still our sponsor?
They're absolutely our sponsor.
I got to go to the meetings.
Yeah. No, they are supporting us, and we are totally appreciative. And I think these are going to be incredibly hard to get. I'd like to hear, actually, if people have been able to pick one up, if they've gone to the store to go get one, if they can still find it.
The holiday season is coming up. We're planning some very cool things.
Yes.
We are going to do we're going to do some sort of gift guide thing where people can either tweet us questions or they can meet us somewhere and we can ask us questions in person. We can recommend games and tech.
Yep.
We're going to put some people who've never been on TV before on TV. That's always a fun show to shoot. And we're gonna extend that into the podcast a little bit.
Yep.
And we're talking about the year-end rocket and ray guns already, which I just can't believe.
And the culmination of our top 100, man.
11, and the culmination of our top 100. 11 months have gone by.
Yeah, this is incredible.
And it's somehow turned out to be an okay year.
It's been a great year.
Yeah.
I know that we're buried and we can feel overwhelmed by all of this stuff, but man, this has been an incredible year. These two consoles at $1,000 to get both of them, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's what it would cost to get a decent computer. And think about the entertainment options that you're going to get out of these two machines. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right, we got to get going.
Yes.
I got to take your mom to her reducing class at the Y. So let's wrap it.
Got to get that spinning on.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week, and the consoles will be out, and we will feel a little less overwhelmed.
And for now, the balcony's closed.
Okay, we'll throw that for a while.